Hey guys, welcome back to another Skate news video, and today we got the patch notes for a new update that will be dropping tomorrow. We also got a new grind episode, well, last week already, but there's not really too much in there. That's also why I skipped the news video last week, but we're gonna talk about the few things that are in there in this video, and we also got a few new known issues that I quickly want to go over, but it's not too much this time around. And we're also gonna start with the patch notes, so it's patch 31.2, so the follow-up patch of the Season 4 update, and this one will go live tomorrow on June 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it fixes quite a few things for a small update. So of course it comes with various stability fixes. It fixes an issue where Skate would freeze when opening Skatepedia from the toolbox after exiting the store, so a very specific bug. It also fixes the issue where players were put into random parties when they were trying to join a friend's party. I've read this in the comments quite a lot, so you guys are probably happy to hear that this is finally going to be fixed. They also fixed an issue where opening the pause menu next to Grabster interactions could cause a crash. They fixed a bug where interacting with tattoos in the customization menu or Skate Pass could also cause a crash. They also fixed an issue where the UI would look desaturated or have small artifacts on the screen, which is probably the bug that a lot of you have described, where you had like artifacts building up after playing for a while. So maybe this is the bug that is fixed right here. They've fixed another issue where players would be unable to toggle between other players while they were spectating. They also fixed an issue where the spectate and report buttons were not responsive when accessing a friend's rip card from the map. They also fixed the bug where some of Sandvan's moving cars became invisible but maintained their collision after changing world traffic setting off or on, so you could still collide with them as a skater even though you didn't see them. I'm not quite sure though if this bug was the reason that they have completely removed all of the moving cars from San Van shortly after the Season 4 start. So if you were wondering why there were no moving cars in the whole city even though you have this option enabled, this is the reason. So they were disabled from the devs. So I assume that this is the fix for this, and that after tomorrow's update we will see moving traffic in San Van again, if you have this option enabled at least. They've also fixed an issue where some of the yellow rails in community parks were not casting their intended shadows. They fixed an issue where PCs under the minimum required specs with less than 4 cores would crash on boot. Here, a note from the developers says that if a player tries to boot up Skate with a PC that has less than 4 cores, they'll see a UI message to inform them that they lack the appropriate hardware and cannot play. And lastly, they also fixed an issue where moving cars in San Van were causing Skate to crash. Okay, this is the issue that I mentioned before, so obviously it is also fixed with this update, and then hopefully we will see moving cars in San Van again. Now that's so far for the patch notes. Moving on, we also got another episode of the weekly grind, like I had mentioned before, but this is from June 9th already. But like I said, this was not as interesting as the former ones, so I just skipped it this time around. And maybe this week it will be more interesting again, hopefully. But I guess so, because on the weekend we should see a new event, but more about that in a second. So what we got in this grind episode for the most part were interviews with the devs about how they created finger flips and how they created the stadium. And I'm just gonna sum up real quick what's interesting from this. So they're just explaining why finger flips were not available at launch of Skate or of the early access of Skate, but only came in with Season 4 now. And here they said that they had to build them from the ground up, and it was not just copy paste from Skate 3. So that's why it took some time for them to remake them. They're also saying again that there are 30 finger flips or 30 finger flip variations available in the game now, and that they're using the same input as Skate 3. And they also say that they expanded the system to make finger flips possible out of double grabs and out of coffins. And then for creating the stadium, they just explained that they wanted to get this atmosphere of putting the spotlight directly on the player. So they studied real-world skateboarding events to recreate the feeling of being at this live competition and being, well, right in the middle of it. And they also point out the part that they have included those different city parts or different city structures as smaller pieces into this park as well. But that was pretty much it, and then we're at the weekly calendar already that says that we will get update 31.2, so that will be happening tomorrow. The winners of the Have You Seen Him video contest will be announced as well at some point during this week, so I guess in the next grind episode. And then what's coming up is the Go Skate event, which is happening during this weekend actually, or should be. We have another giveaway on the Discord, and there will be a finger flips video contest, but I will let you know once this starts and how you can participate. And then lastly, we're again at the long list of known issues. So these are still being investigated, as the name says, and I'm not going over the full list anymore, but I'm just going over what's new. So one thing that was new actually in this list is that when you're trying to join a friend's party, then you're put into a random party, but this is going to be fixed tomorrow already, so we can actually scrap this point from the list. But what's new is that player models are glitching while in switch or fakie stance. The rest actually, or a lot of those issues that are named right here, are actually fixed with tomorrow's update. This list is probably a lot shorter in the next grind episode, or maybe not, maybe it's getting longer. You never know what kind of things they will break with another update. And there's one more thing, I almost forgot about it, but I just saw it on my list before I wanted to wrap up this video. So what they had also posted is that there is an issue with the Mastery 3 task descriptions. Here you can see the grind to any finger flip task twice, but of course only one of them is grind to any finger flip and the other one is a different task. So here they're writing that the actual task is sequence bounty kickflip to 5-0 to impossible 360. So that's what you actually need to do to complete this task. They're trying to fix it right now. I'm not sure, maybe it is already fixed and they didn't post anything about this, but in case you still run into this, this is what you actually have to do. And that was it for today. These were all the news that I got for you. There will hopefully be another video this week when we get another grind episode, and I guess we will definitely see the blog post for the event at some point, maybe around Thursday or something. So there will for sure be another video this week. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one right here and you want to stay tuned for more talking about skate and maybe other skateboarding games as well, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye!